Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the 9 F notes on quadratic functions. At the end of this, you should be able to say that I can find the variable given the value of the function. Alright, so let's get straight into it. Example 12b from page 286 says if f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 3x minus 4, find f of negative 4. So I know that f of x equals this. I want to know what f of negative 4 is. So wherever I see an x, I'm going to plug in negative 4, just like what we've been doing before. So negative 2, and then we got negative 4 squared plus 3 times negative 4 minus 4. So f of negative 4 is going to equal negative 4 squared is 16 times negative 2 is negative 32 minus 12 minus 4. So then f of negative 4, 32, 42, 43, 44 is negative 48. Alright? Okay, next example is example 13a from page 237. It says state whether the following quadratic function is satisfied by the given ordered pair. So this is a little different, but it's not too difficult. This is the x-coordinate and that's the y-coordinate, right? So we'll plug this 2 in for these x's and plug this 16 in for the y and then see if they equal each other. So in other words, what they're asking me, does 16 equal 3 times 2 squared plus 2 times 2? So 16 equals 2 squared is 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 times 2 is 4. So 16 indeed equals 16. So yes. Is it satisfied by the given order pair? Yes, it is. Alright. Alright, example 15a from page 288 gives us if f of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 11, find x when f of x equals 23. Now remember, f of x is basically the same thing as y, and look over here, it tells you that here's our f of x. So this 23, a lot of people are going to want to try to plug it in for the x, but what this really means is plug this in for the y. So that goes here. So what we have is 23 equals x squared plus 4x plus 11. So now we got to solve this thing. So back to factoring. So we got to move this 23 over. 0 equals x squared plus 4x minus what, 12? Okay, so let's see if this thing factors out. Hopefully it will. Factors of 12 that have a difference of 4. So factors of 12 are 1 and 12. That doesn't work. We can do 6 times 2. 6 times 2 have a difference of 4. So let's do that. X and X. 6 and 2. This sign goes with the bigger of the two, so that's a plus. This sign here tells us that these signs are opposite, so it's minus. So x has to equal, to make this equal to 0, is negative 6 or positive 2. Okay, so x can equal either one of those and we are good to go. It's really good to double check to make sure that it actually works. So if you just plug it in really quick, negative 6 squared plus 4 times negative 6 plus 11, that will end up giving you 23, and then if you plug 2 in, it also works. Alright? Okay. Let's try this one. And this is actually our last example here. So this is example 16 from page 288. A pumpkin cheese ball is launched into the air, and its height in meters above the ground is given by the function h of t equals negative 5t squared plus 30t plus 2. Where t is the time in seconds from when the pumpkin cheese ball is launched or thrown. Okay, how high above the ground is the cheese ball at 3 seconds? So let's get that back. There we go. So whoa, where's that from? Let's try this again. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so see how high above the ground is the cheese ball at 3 seconds. So all we need to do is just plug 3 in for the t there, right? Oops. That's A, not C. So height at 3 seconds is going to be -5 times 3 squared plus 30 times 3 plus 2. So the height at 3 seconds. 3 squared is 9 times -5 is -45 plus 90 plus 2. So the height at 3 seconds is, let's see, 45, 46, 47 feet. So it gets up to a max height of 47 feet above ground. So second thing, how high above the ground was how high above the ground was the cheese ball released? So that actually, there's no real calculations to be done here. That is simply this +2 right here is how high it was when it was released. So B is, because this is your gravity, this is your initial velocity, and then this is how high above the ground you started at. So 2 feet above ground for B. Okay, and then last piece is C. It says at what time or what times was the cheese ball's height above the ground 27 meters. All right. So, oops, I said 2 feet. That should be 2 meters. Sorry. So, at what time was the cheese ball's height above the ground? 27 meters. So basically, we got to figure out when it gets up that high. So that means the h of t equals 27. So we're just going to do this. We're going to plug that 27 in for this part here of our equation. So we get 27 equals -5t squared plus 30t plus 2. So move the 27 over. We get 0 equals -5t squared plus 30t minus 25. And thankfully, all of these have a common factor of 5. And I'm going to take a -5 out because I don't like dealing with a negative t squared. So we'll do 0 equals -5 times, divide all these by -5, and we get t squared minus 6t plus 5. And now we just want to try to factor this stuff here. Okay, so 0 equals -5 times, we got t and t, factors of 5. There's only one set of factors of 5, and that's 5 and 1. Let's see if this works. And this negative goes with this, and then this tells us that the signs are the same. So -5 times -1 is 5, and -5 plus -1 is -6. So those are the right factors. So the time is going to be at 5 seconds and 1 second. So it says, at what time was the cheese ball's height above the ground? From 1 to 5 seconds. So anywhere in between that is when it was above the ground, 27 meters. All right? Well, that's actually just at 5, and just at 1 is when it was exactly 27 meters above. Anywhere between 1 and 5 is when it was, it's above 27 meters. All right? That should take care of this. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks.